everyone, and welcome to another interview for Leadership Unscripted. I'm your host, Liliana Rojas, and today I'm excited and grateful to welcome Carol Yang. Carol, you are a seasoned executive coach and former global VP with over 2 decades of leadership experience across the US, Japan, Singapore, and Australia. From navigating C-suite dynamics to leading global initiatives at Procter Gamble, your insights are grounded in real-world complexity. Today, you help senior leaders grow with intention, surfacing mindset, patterns, and blind spots so they can lead with greater adaptability and impact. With a blend of strategic thinking, neuroscience, and deep empathy, you guide your clients to unlock fresh perspectives and sustainable change. You are an absolutely extraordinary coach, and I am so honored to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Ileana. I'm thrilled to be here and to be speaking with you today. This is exciting.
It is. It is exciting. And it is exciting that we are launching this book that started out of a labor of love and vulnerability. And I think as coaches, if we are asking our clients to put themselves out there, we need to show that ourselves. And I think this book shows exactly that we walk the talk in everything that we do. So thank you so much for sharing your story here with us. And I want to start with that specifically in mind, right? How does your chapter, as you wrote it, reflect the intersection of your experience as a seasoned leader and your current work as a coach?
Well, that's a great question. And one thing that's persistent is this constant state of overwhelm that all of us are feeling. And it hasn't changed. We felt overwhelmed 30 years ago. We felt overwhelmed 10 years ago. But particularly over the last few years, I think leaders in particular have had this sense of overwhelm amplified maybe 10, 20, 30 times because of everything that's been going on. And what's happened is that they feel this need to run faster, work harder, do more. Basically, just keep working harder and running faster on this hamster wheel in order to keep their heads above water. But that's really not the answer. It's not about doing more. Rather, the answer is about doing less and actually really focusing on being super clear on what your intentions are. Where do you want to put your attention? Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up as a person, as a human being, and as a leader in both your good days and bad days? So this is about doing less and being focused on who you want to be in the world. And that's about clear intentions to start off with. And one of the things that I think as human beings that's wonderful is that we have this enormous capacity to continue growing and evolving ourselves. And as we evolve, we become more resilient, we become better versions of ourselves. We then become more able to take on greater complexity with greater ease. And that shows up in different ways. We then become better leaders at work, and we have better relationships both at home and at work as well. I personally think it's a waste for us to not really make the most of our innate ability to continue growing and evolving. But we do have to take personal responsibility for our own growth and development. And I think sometimes as seasoned leaders and as we become more senior, we lose sight of that. And as a coach, what I'm really passionate about is really helping those leaders pause and really reflect on what is it that they really want for themselves? What is it that they want in terms of how they show up as a leader? And then to make clear intentions from there. And as we make clear intentions to help them identify where that growth edge is for themselves. And what I mean by that is, what are the areas that's holding them back, really holding them back in terms of being able to expand their thinking? Could it be their mindset? Could it be how they're viewing situations, beliefs, or assumptions that they're bringing into things? How can we work on those things so that at the end of the day, we're really leveling up who they are as both a human being as well as a leader? And I think the way I like to think about it is not about upgrading the apps on your phone. This is really about upgrading your entire operating system. And to me, that's where that intersection sits with my experience as well as what I do now as a coach.
I love that, and you're right. There needs to be an evolution between the expectations of what leadership was to the realities of today, considering the fast-paced environment and that, the chaos, but also, to your point, how we bring the humanity back into this very disruptive, very with a lot of pressure, from all different angles, space, right? And so it becomes a balancing act, almost every day. So thank you for sharing that. And with that, then, what do you think, or what do you believe today's leaders, with all of these pressures and all of these, ever-changing landscapes, do they need to unlearn, or do they need to unlearn something, right, to lead more powerfully and authentically as we head into, the future of the workplace?
That's a great question. And I think we are very focused in terms of building skills. And leaders need to understand this is not about building skills. Yes, skills are important, and it is necessary to build and round out your skills, but building skills will only get you that far. It'll only get you up to a point. This is really about developing who you are as a human being, first and foremost, and then also as a leader. So, this is really about focusing on yourself. That's where the game changer is. That's what's going to change the game for you. In the same way that businesses need to grow in order to survive, it's absolutely essential for us as humans and leaders as well to continue growing and evolving, because that's how we not only survive, but really thrive in this world that's really demanding more and more of us. And so we need to evolve ourselves and grow our capacity in terms of how do we face these increasing demands on us, and not just face it, but face it with greater ease. And that really starts with self awareness. It starts with first looking at yourself and getting to know yourself really well and understanding how you currently respond to various situations and interactions. And then figuring out, okay, if that's not how I want to respond, if I want to be a better version of that, then setting a clear intention about that, and then starting to work first on yourself. And then from there, the possibilities open up as you begin to expand your thinking, your mindset, as you begin to perhaps see different ways to approach things. You open up your perspectives, and in a way, possibilities then open up as well. And that's really, I think, that shift that leaders need to make as they think about their own growth and development. It's not about taking the next course. It's not about upgrading your skills. It's about developing and growing yourself as a person.
Absolutely, and I love that comparison, right? That if companies need to, or businesses need to grow and evolve, and that's what we're asking constantly as leaders to our teams and to everybody, then we should do the exact same thing. We can't assume to stay the same and then achieve a different result if we're not walking through that evolution as people. I love that reference because I think we're missing that. So, how do you hope that this book will contribute to that broader conversation about leadership in today's evolving world?
Yeah, I think if anything, the past few years has taught us that leaders just need to be a lot more agile and flexible in order to deal with the increasing complexity that we have, not only at work, but just our lives in general. Our life in general has just grown in terms of the level of complexity we need to deal with. And in order for us to be able to do that, we first and foremost need to look first internally at ourselves in terms of how we respond when we have curveballs that are thrown at us. So each leader really needs to look first at themselves and work on those things. And I think organizations need to support that personal growth journey for each of their leaders. Because the more that we can develop ourselves in order to widen our perspectives, in order to shift our mindset and behaviors, so that we can have more possibilities whenever we are faced with something that's new, challenging, or more complex, then we will become better leaders to our teams and to our overall organizations. So I think as much as we want to upgrade skills, for instance, in terms of how we can better lead our teams, equally important, there needs to be a focus back on the leader in terms of how do they develop themselves and evolve their own growth edge to deal with this.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. We have to work on ourselves in order to move forward, and hopefully, that's something that in reading all of these stories, leaders will be able to do that self reflection as well. And how do I grow from here? Now you have a beautiful chapter. I have to say now that I've read all of the chapters, each co-author has just a journey that I deeply admire, I deeply respect, and I'm just so inspired. And I don't want to give a lot about your chapter because people will have to read it because it's a beautiful, beautiful chapter. But if readers walk away with just one message from your chapter and your journey, what would you like it to be?
Well, my chapter does talk a lot about setting clear intentions, but honestly speaking, the one message that I would like readers to walk away with is to never stop growing and developing yourself, because that is what is going to open up more possibilities for yourself. So I really would love and invite, the readers of the my chapter to hold up a mirror and take a hard look at yourself. It can be a bit confronting. Go and look under that rock that you've been avoiding. And I know personal growth and self-development can be uncomfortable, but there really isn't any growth without discomfort. So never stop growing and developing yourself.
Oh my God, is there discomfort? It's so easy, like to go and talk to others and give advice, but when we look at that mirror, all of those like fears and limiting beliefs and imposter syndromes and all of these other things that, as a coach, it's easy to, talk to
Mhm.
others and walk them through it, but then when we have to do it ourselves, definitely there's discomfort there. So what core leadership lesson or bold move do you hope stays with readers long after they close the book?
What I really love about the book is that it's about the individual journeys that each of us have taken. And they're all very, very unique in itself. What I really hope the book does is that it inspires other people to chart your own path, whatever that path might look like for you, to take that bold move of first getting clear in terms of what you want, and then taking those intentional actions to chart that path, because there is no one single right way to get there. It is what it is for you, what works for you. And I truly believe that we are most powerful and successful when we lead from the core of who we are. And I think the book is just a fantastic example of that, because each of us have led and charted the path based on the core of who each of us are individually. And all the paths have been different, but they have all, in a way, led to the same place, which is living a life that we have each personally designed for ourselves, that is satisfying and fulfilling and rewarding. And I honestly do think it's possible for everyone if they do the work.
Especially if they do the work, because it doesn't come like just out of the
Yes.
blue. It's not magic. This. Thank you so much, Carol, for making the time, for sharing a little bit of you, your experience, your thoughts, your wisdom with us, with the readers, with our audience. I truly appreciate it, because you have an amazing journey, and as an executive coach, you have all of these great frameworks and strategies, and just self way to help us self reflect. So truly appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Eliana. It's been fantastic being here with you.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And check out the book, Leadership Unscripted. You can find it at leadershipunscriptedbook.com and read Carol's and all the 12 fascinating stories. And not only that, you're going to get so many nuggets of advice. It's just beautiful in itself, so that you can go through this self-awareness and this journey of growth and transformation. So thank you so much. And check us out in another edition of Leadership Unscripted. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day.